Talk to 20 bottoms to bust myths tops have about good sex. Does dick size even matter then?
Not really.
20 conversations narrowed down to just 4 things that bottoms say tops can do to immediately have better sex. Whether dating somebody new, in a long-term relationship already, or just hooking up while you're single, sex is an inevitable part of your life. My whole job on this channel is to help Black gay men remember how dope it is to be us and to love us. Sometimes that interaction is purely sexual. So if I can help tops give a performance that's worth a bottom changing your diet and dishing their life away, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Because the goal isn't just to know what bottoms say makes sex good, but to understand why these things make sex good. Hey, shh. My people upstairs. So I'm unpacking the 4 big lessons I learned from bottoms tonight on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. And the show starts right now. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at J.A.Y, the Gentleman on IG. It's Monday, so it's time for a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's still our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along the journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is your midweek reminder of how dope it is to be Black gay men and love Black gay men. I am Jay the Gentleman. This is Dear Black Gay Men podcast. Now, let's get into the show. I asked tops from across the country, what do you think makes sex good? Overwhelmingly, they said dick size is a huge factor. When I asked bottoms the same question, for their response, they said almost the exact opposite. Tops really believe that bigger is better. But 15 out of the 20 bottoms that I spoke to said husband dick is the perfect size. So my first question for tonight is, what is the perfect size? What does husband dick mean? Let me know in the chat, and then I'm gonna tell y'all a story. First, let me say I'm very excited about all these new graphics. Y'all know I love a graphic. I don't even know if I can show liquor on the online, but here we go. T.S. Madison does it, so I'm not worried about it. So I'll tell y'all, I had a particular person. We entangled once before, and he was little bitty. He had a little waist. He had broad shoulders. He was a bodybuilder, right? He was significantly shorter than me, so he was significantly smaller than me, but bodybuilder size. And he told me that he intimidates a lot of tops because he has a way bigger than husband dick. It was very interesting because he said husband dick feels the best, even though he does not have it. He acknowledged that, and I agree. But he also said that a lot of tops who do have husband dick are intimidated because his dick is usually bigger. Is that anybody else's experience? My whole goal here is to figure out how we can start speaking the same language, tops, bottoms, and verse, be able to speak the same language about what actually makes sex good. And I just thought it was just so interesting that I had a conversation with all these bottoms, and they are saying the exact opposite than all these other tops. Is that anybody else's experience, or is that just me? Because, oh, shit. Uh, Panthro says boyfriend dick is the best dick. So, Panthro, what is boyfriend dick? What size is boyfriend size? I got to make this bigger so we can. Oop, wrong thing. I'm trying to make the comments bigger so I can see you. Maybe I need to what size is boyfriend size? That's the question for everybody. How big is boyfriend dick? Am I supposed to? Ooh, that's crazy. I can't make it any bigger. I keep moving all the wrong stuff. Jay, get your shit together. Okay. Boyfriend Panther says boyfriend dick is the best dick. Official E said 7 inches. Damn, I can't see that for nothing. There we go. I'm getting it. There we go. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Okay. There we go. All right. Official E says boyfriend dick is the best dick, just short of causing lockjaw, suffering from hyperspermia. Prefer uncut, but cut works too. That's husband dick to me. That's a pretty verbose answer. Husband dick is top tier. It took a while, but vacation dick it doesn't intimidate. I think it's intimidate me. Okay, what is vacation dick? What size is that? I ain't heard that term before. What size is vacation? Yeah, like what size is vacation? That is a unique way of putting that. I ain't never heard it put that way. Vacation dick does not intimidate me. I will tell y'all how big they said in my survey. Cause so let me tell you the story. So I did an interview of 20 bottoms. 20 people who identify as bottom, not verse bottom, not kind of bottom, not sometime bottom, bottom. They said they were bottoms. And I talked to them to ask them a lot of the things, a lot of the myths that tops were trying to that tops just kind of bought into, like big dick is better dick. I know that that ain't the case because I also have a very normal sized penis. But I'm having this conversation and y'all are telling me the most interesting things. Like I had never heard the term. I didn't know. I didn't realize how unaware I was of like what it takes to douche and how you prepare for sex and all these things. Like I'm realizing that bottoms are like changing their whole life for sex, and that's a normal occurrence. That's something that normally happens. Bottoms will change diets and take hours to prepare. And in my head, I'm thinking I have a whole bunch of assumptions because of that. Like I assume that uh like you want every time you want somebody to hit that third wall and bust down Tatiana, but really I'm learning that that's not the case. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong cuz I talked to 20 people who say they bottoms and I got some eye-opening information. I do feel like I didn't want to gatekeep. This one says this comment says, I just remember you telling us a short story before that definitely mine literally had a top who was fascinated with my dick being so big. Uh all he kept telling me was I should be that you should be fucking everything. Are you a bottom, Benjamin Johnson? Like, are you all bottom with this big monkey meat, or are you versatile and you just were bottoming that particular time? Because this particular survey, not that we're talking about the survey, but this particular survey, I talked to people who were all bottom. That was part of the criteria. All bottom, no top. And that's why it was so eye-opening. It was so interesting. The converse the Another one says I'm gonna say 8 to 9 inches. Baron said, but husband dick vary from one bottom to another. Does it though? Boyfriend size is 5 to 7 inches. Boyfriend size is 6 inches. Will do the job. Uh, Question of hyperspermia. I mean, you must like zinc filled milkshakes. I don't even know what hyperspermia is. My spirit. Okay. So I will tell you from my research, because, we official around here. I interviewed 20 bottoms, and 15 of them agree that husband dick is preferred over huge monkey. When I asked, they said the perfect size is a strong 8, maybe less, and thick. Do we have agreement? Is there consensus in the room? 15 out of 20 agreed that husband dick is a strong 8, maybe less. Levante O'Shea says, does getting head count as all bottom? Asking for clarity of the criteria. No. Yes. Does getting head, like receiving head, getting your dick sucked, can you be a bottom and get your dick sucked? Absolutely. Everybody saying agreed. A strong 8, maybe less. That's what everyone says. That real shit with Darren Teeth said 8 is a little too much. I don't think that, like Baron said, that husband dick size varies from bottom to bottom, but I will tell you that everybody agree, and I'm not prompting them with these questions. Like, I asked everybody, what is husband dick size? Overwhelmingly, they said about 8. Now, my question for everybody is that like 8 actual inches or 8 for 8 inches, 8 dating app inches? Because what we say on the dating apps is very different than what we actually have in real life. Like on the dating apps, even I say I'm an 8.5 because everybody tells me that that's what they think it is. But if I hold a tape measure up, it's a very different number. I just said what my dick size is on the internet. Creole said, that's a new name. I haven't seen that one. You just need to know how to use your dick. I will tell you. We'll talk about that shortly, because there are 4 points in this one, and I can't wait to give y'all my findings. This is gonna be a good one. I cannot wait to show y'all what my findings are. So a strong 8, thick. Does thick factor into the size? 8 is nefarious. Let me Google what nefarious means real quick. But 8 is nefarious. 7 to 8 depending on your walls. 8 is entering porn star territory. An actual 8, I agree, is entering porn star territory. J926 says it's too big, it's too wide, it's too strong, it won't fit. Extra credit if you know that reference. I will tell you that this particular I am so excited that I conducted this particular survey. I cannot wait for y'all to hear the rest of it. But just know that if you want to join me live on the show, if you want to join me live on Dear Black Gay Man podcast, you can join me right here by going to livestream.dearblackgayman.com, because I want to hear what the people say about any part of this. Remember, I got 4 points. The first is husband dick is preferred over vacation dick. Apparently, that's a new term that I did not know. But husband dick, a firm 8, maybe less, is a good size for a long-term situation. Tonight we're talking through good sex from a bottom's perspective. If you're a top that disagrees with my findings, or a bottom who wants to add your 2 cents, I want to hear from you on the show. You don't need to show your face. As long as we can hear you, you're welcome on the show. If you want to voice your thoughts on tonight's topic, join us live at livestream.dearblackgayman.com. The link is pinned in the description. Now it's time for church announcements. Hit it. Every week, I write about the ups and downs of my dating journey along on our blog on Substack. It's a deep dive into my emotional and sexual trials while I manifest my man in 2025. You can join for free by clicking the screen now, or the link is in the description. Who decides what makes sex good? One thing I've noticed that straight people and gay people have in common is we ask the wrong people for sex advice all the time. Men talk with men, tops talk with other tops, bottoms kiki with other bottoms. But the gotcha for me is that my sex only got good, so people tell me, when I started talking about sex with the people I have sex with. Ain't that crazy? But when you've never had the conversation, it can be weird to just start talking about it out of nowhere. So these 3 questions have helped me navigate sex talk so I can figure out what makes it better for the people I'm having sex with and why. Number 1, what's something non-sexual that turns you on? Understanding what gets someone in the mood will help you figure out what can keep him in the mood. If he likes physical touch or random displays of affection, you can start foreplay long before we get naked. Or maybe he wants you to call him a good boy, because I like that. Or tell him that you're proud of him. Find ways of connecting that are specific to him. Then number 2, what position do you like most and why? I guarantee you, sexual position is not just what angle the dick inserts. If he likes missionary, maybe it's the eye contact that turns him on. If he likes doggy style, maybe it's how you hold his waist, or he likes to be spanked. The why is way more important than the what here. Then number 3, when do you feel like sex is over? We assume that sex ends when the top comes. Some bottoms don't need to come during sex. Some bottoms can't come during sex. Inquire how to finish him off and what makes climax glorious. The answers to these questions will in fact surprise you. And the more frequently you talk about sex with the people you plan on having sex with, the easier you'll be at the conversation and the better you'll be at the act. Follow for more dope queer stories. The best way to support what we do here on Dear Black Gay Men is to become a YouTube member. Members get access to exclusive conversations, the members only chat, behind the scenes content, and you can join me to chop it up right here on the show. And a portion of your memberships will be donated to an Atlanta area nonprofit providing HIV prevention and care in Black gay culture. Just hit the join button below this episode or send a super chat of any amount. For all the latest updates, follow me everywhere on socials at J.A.Y. the Gentleman on Instagram and Threads. That concludes our church announcements. Please govern thyself accordingly, and we will be right back. Y'all been asking for it, so here you go. Do the thing. Do the thing. What is stigma? I truly believe that it comes up when you think something can't happen to you. Like when we think we could never be femme, so we end up with femmephobia laced all up and through our dating profiles. Or when we don't be out there like that, so we slut shame people for doing openly what we try to sneak and do privately. But there aren't too many spaces where stigma rises to a criminal level like it does with HIV.
Knowingly gave her HIV and never told her he was infected.
We're talking to 4 Black men from across the country, all living with HIV. I want to see how stigma comes up in their lives and what we can all do to overcome it. I've been in the gym so I could do 2 things. It's 1, thirst trap on the internet, and look good for my man when I find one. And that's why I'm excited that support for Dear Black Gay Men comes from Twillery. Black men, whether you're in the gym, like me, or blessed with good genetics, like me, carry our weight in a couple key spots that can make suits and slacks hard to fit and uncomfortable to wear without either having to size up or break the bank in tailoring. But Twillery answers the fit problem with their performance fabrics. It's the right fit for the tailored look and just enough stretch for comfort and breathability. I'm wearing right now the solid performance polo that hugs my chest and arms while tapering just enough at the waist to show off the good parts. Twillery carries suiting, polos, button-ups, and everything to impress at the job or knock someone's socks off on a date. And you can shop for the perfect fit right now at Twillery.com, and we've got a special offer for the DBGM family. Take $18 off your first order by using code M300J. That's Twillery.com, and we thank them for supporting our channel. Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. I interviewed 20 bottoms to bust some myths tops have about good sex. The first was about dick size. Number 2 is that long-winded tops get uncomfortable. Long-winded tops get uncomfortable after a while. I talked to one bottom who enjoys being ass up at the Red Roof Inn, and he actually gets turned off by long-winded tops. Then I talked to a bottom who has been in a relationship for 7 years monogamously, and he said the exact same thing. Bottoms agree that going multiple shorter rounds is preferred to one all-nighter. So my question for the chat is, how long should sex be ideally? How long should sex be? Like, from let's get naked to climax. How long are we talking here? Because I really want to know. A lot of people have told me from all of these interviews, 12 of the 20 bottoms that said that shorter sex is preferred. Richard Durham said, I don't know if y'all can see. Well, no, it's too small. I'll fix it later. But multiple short sessions are better than one long-winded one. Benjamin Johnson said, I don't like long-winded sessions. Panther says 30 minutes. Troy says even shorter, 15 to 20. Does that include foreplay? Like, is that a little sucking dick, a little eating ass, nipple play, all the things? And then we fucking, and all of that is included inside 30 minutes. Panther, let me know. Troy said the same. Troy said 15 to 20. J926 says is 30 minutes. Taj Wheel, oh, y'all can't see it. I feel like a good tops needs to slow down and be able to find the hole. A good top needs to know how to open you up. Good sex is having a conversation before having to know what each other likes. Official E said, I don't want a 1 minute man. You don't want a 1 minute man, but do you want a 1 hour, even longer session? Like, what does that mean? It's so interesting. And the irony is, I think we do have a lot of versatile men in the chat. And so I would wager that verse men probably would answer all these questions very differently. But I'm telling you, 20 bottoms don't. So I will tell you, I ended up having sex with one of the bottoms. And I met him on the show. Is that weird? I don't want to, it was, obviously it was consensual, but I ended up having sex with him. And he was one of the responses. And he was telling me all the tea about our sex. And that's part of the reason what inspired this episode, is because I learned that people are having sex. People are having sex, but not being able to talk about it. And that is weird to me. Being able to have sex with someone, be able to negotiate sex with a person, but not being able to talk about it with that same person. That is absolutely weird to me. Real shit with Darren T. Real shit with Darren T also said an hour. Whole bunch of 30 minutes in the chat. Don D said 30 minutes. Benjamin Johnson said multiple short sessions are better, no longer than 35 minutes. 30 minutes peacefully to an hour. 15 to 20 minutes. Does that include foreplay? That's my question. Like, when you're saying 30 minutes, is that first mouth on body all the way till last climax, last ejaculation? That whole process is 30 minutes. Real shit with Darren T said, don't let me have to douche longer than it takes for the actual deed. That is my biggest fear. That is my absolute biggest fear, is that it takes longer for you to prepare than my performance. And if that ever happens, the irony of that for me is that makes me want to prove that I got more in me and keep going. I'll tell you a personal story, and this is about to get a little vulgar, so bear with me. I had a hookup one time, and he and I were preparing to do the things. In the chat, in the conversation to prepare to set this entanglement up, we had gone over certain things he liked, certain things I like. I have enough of that conversation and this is the first time we connected. Midway through, I feel myself getting ready to preparing for the sweet by and by, right? I feel myself getting there. And what I had to do that actually worked really, really well. What I told myself is, I'm not here for myself, I'm here for him. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for him. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for him. And I kept repeating that like a chant, like a mantra, I don't know what you want to call it, but I was telling myself, I'm not here for Jay, I'm here for the other person. And that made me last longer. I got I w- because and but now I will say that it's also because I like being used. I am a service top. And so the more at service I am, whether that is dominant or submissive, the more at service I am with a person, the more enjoyment I get out of it. It's not just the longer I last, it's the more I enjoy it. And so I kept telling myself, I'm not here for myself, I'm here for him. I'm not here for myself, I'm here for him. And that made me last, we'll just say, much longer. Troy says, yes, mantra top. Again, I gotta fix these comments because y'all can't see them on the screen. Yes, mantra top. Don D said, sent crying emojis. There's so many things that could happen. They having a conversation. B Cryptic says, what the fuck y'all eating? It takes 45 minutes to an hour to douche. After 1 hour, 10 minutes, I'm cutting off the shower. I don't give. Now I will say, bottoms men who take dick put their body through a lot to prepare for sex. How y'all maintain horny long enough to like completely douche and get clear water? That is beyond me. Like after three good booty hole fulls, if the water ain't clear, it ain't for me. I feel like that is my sign from the on high that it's not for me. And now, mind you, I do not eat like a bottom. I do not. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to put on muscle. So like, you can imagine how many times the water has run clear for me, which is probably also the reason why I don't take dick that often. Panther says I don't use water. What do you use? What do you use? Okay, John C. He said I can't put it up because it's small. But John C says at least 45 minutes to an hour, foreplay, cuddling. That means I'm assuming foreplay and cuddling happen before and or after. Like foreplay, entanglement, cuddle after, all of that should be 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. I can vibe with that. Because now also again, service person here. So there are many things in foreplay that I do for me. True T, like I could go down on a boy, on a bottom. I don't know if I can say eating ass and we say monetize, but I could eat ass for an hour just for me. You don't have to do much of anything. Just remind me that you're enjoying it, and I will be there for me for a long periodically time. But that is just my vibe. But let me also add, I ain't gonna do that shit. Like the less I'm gonna get out of it, the shorter I will do it. Like if I know that I'm gonna get some ass after this, then I can eat ass for 2 days. If at the end of it, I know that you about to be on penis, then absolutely we can go forever. But if you just trying to get your ass ate and suck some dick and it's just a frot session or just some foreplay, then my patience for this is going to be a lot shorter. Troy says, yes, Ken, you like to be eaten as well? It's not, it's I can put some ass on the menu, but it's not my specialty, if that makes sense. Like it'll be on like, I can vibe with it. It's just that's not, what I'm here for. I'm here to eat, not be eaten. But I ain't gonna be like, don't touch me. Like I ain't gonna do that shit. That's just not how I roll. Um, Unlimited says typo as a total top, my total bottom prefers also shorter multiple sessions. You know what I think about that total modifier. I'm here for it. I know we talking about bottoms and bottoms pleasure, but help me understand. What does total mean that top does not achieve? Y'all let me know that in the comments too. If I say I'm a top versus I say I'm a total top, what are we assuming that's the difference between those two terms? And as I'm asking that question, because again, we dealing with bottoms, so I talked to total bottoms, but I didn't say total. They just said bottoms because I will not fuck you. That was the whole conversation I had about sexual position with the people that I had did these interviews with. But at no point did anybody ever feel the need to qualify. Oh, I'm a total bottom. It was just I'm a bottom. I don't top. So what's T? But for some reason, when it comes to tops feel a sense of pride and obligation to enforce that total identifier. And I'm always curious, what is the difference between a top and a total top? Troy said total bottoms are no oral. I mean, I'm assuming that means no eating ass. Unlimited said, in short, top refers to topping, may still be open to versatility. Total top only tops, not open to bottoming. And I don't see it that way. If you are a top, I'm going to assume that means you don't bottom. Point blank, period. That's the whole sentence. Top. And for me, if you are a versatile top, I'm going to just assume that you primarily topping, so I ain't going to vibe with it either way. Benjamin Johnson says total top doesn't get penetrated at all. They don't want their ass ate. Oh. Hold on. I'll get to that in a second. Total top says they don't prefer to do. Nope, still small. They don't want their ass ate, just dick sucked and fuck holes. A top can be someone who may take dick. Who taught y'all that? Benjamin Johnson said that Official E says they say total top because of misogyny. I think top means I prefer to top, but will only bottom on rare occasions. For total tops, bottoming is non-negotiable. Who said that? What y'all are calling a top, I call a versatile top, which is me. Like, ass available on request with 48-hour notice and a date before. Like, that is me. I have not bottomed in years, almost decades, but I would if you put in your request in the portal. Whoever said, okay, empathy, I'm getting it. So y'all are telling me that the reason why the total modifier is so important is because the line of top has moved. Like, I honestly believed that verse top means I top only, but I'll bottom on occasion or upon request. That is what I mean when I say I'm a verse top. I only top, but for a select few, a small group, a finite cohort of people, they'll get me to do some bending. That is what versatile top means to me. But y'all are saying that is a top. And so total top has to then mean I don't do no bending, don't touch I don't know about touching the ass, but I ain't ever gonna get fucked. That's what y'all mean by total top. Okay, so it makes a lot of sense now. That makes so much sense that the total identifier means something because culturally the line of top has moved. Because when I came out, top was enough. Top meant that's enough. And bottom was enough. Bottom meant I'm not going to top you ever. Don't ever try to go for my dick because I'm not going to use it on you ever. That is what bottom meant to me. Versatile bottom means you can suck my dick, you can eat my ass, I'll suck your dick, I'll eat your ass if I need to. I prefer the bottom, but I will top you if we're in love and we're in a relationship and you want it every 14th holiday. That is what versatile bottom means to me. But clearly I'm the drama because everybody in the chat is saying top means I'll do some bending sometimes, and total top means never bending, always on the penetrative side. Am I missing something here? B Cryptic said there's two types of tops, total and verse. That is so interesting to me. I didn't know clearly I am the drama. It sounds like y'all are in consensus in the chat. Yes, because verse are especially bottoms who fuck, and that's no shade to any verse kings here. That's what Benjamin Johnson says. I disagree. I genuinely disagree. And hear me out. Because again, I want to get back to my 4 points before we get too deep into this. Hear me out. When I hear someone is versatile, I do not ever make a stretch that says you generally want one or the other. If you say I'm versatile, I'm going to assume that this is an absolute mixed bag. That you're like, I even get frustrated at this. When I'm on the chat line, not the chat line because that's gone, but when I'm on the apps and someone says they're versatile, because in my head there is an equal opportunity to do one or the other, you gonna have to give me some clarity here, friend. I don't know what you looking for. I don't know what you want. I don't know your vibe, because versatile means I could be dushed and dangerous, or I could bust down Tatiana, and so I'm not getting fucked. So I'm assuming that if you hit me up, you want to get fucked, but until you confirm that, until you give me enthusiastic consent, I'm question mark. I don't assume versatile means I'm taking dick. I assume versatile means whatever the fuck I feel like right now. I assume verse top means I primarily top, but you know, if that dick is dicking, then I'm here for it. Top, even before the total identifier, top means I ain't doing no bending. Same thing the other way. Verse bottom means I bottom, but on occasions, on a frequency that I will disclose, I might fuck somebody, but generally I'm taking dick. And then bottom means I'm not going to bend you over ever. So that's why it's so foreign to me to have to add total to anything. Benjamin Johnson says, yes, Jay, remember when we came out, it was top and bottom. Verse wasn't even a thing at the time. Now hold on there. I mean, I might be an old queen, but I ain't that old. Verse was in full effect when I came out. And I was verse. I loved verse, man. I did the versatile things. I was never good at the bottom half, though. I was never good at the bottom half. But I was verse, but it was because I was a fishy boy. I was a little feminine leaning butch queen that liked to fuck boys. And so I just assumed that meant I was verse. But verse was in full effect. Now all of my closest friends at the time were either top or bottom, but verse was in full effect when I came out, because baby, These cakes ain't get plump by sitting on them. Or maybe they did get plump by sitting on something, but that's a whole different topic. Uh, I wish I could put these comments up and it be big. I have to fix it. But let me get back to my script. Okay. The third myth tops believe is about dick size again. Black men are well endowed. That is a statistical fact. If you have a big dick, 12 of 10, 20 bottoms I interviewed said you have to talk them through it. Talk them through it. Words of affirmation here make the dick easier to insert because you're connecting the mind with the body. What do you want to hear when he talks you through it? That's the question for the chat. If you get a top that talks you through it, a penetrative partner, whether he is top, verse, total top, whatever the case may be, when you have a penetrative partner who is talking you through it, what are some of the things you want to hear? Hold on. Panthro said verse was not talked about much back in the day. I agree with that. Verse was not talked about much back in the day, but it existed. Just like femme tops, just like trans people, just like a whole bunch of things weren't talked about a lot back in the day, but they were there. Trans people were not People of trans experience were not talked about a lot, but they existed. They were there in full display. It's just we didn't have the same kind of language for it as we do now. And the irony is, I talk to a lot of couples and a lot of older men, and they still talk about trade the same way that we do now. Bottoms, people who classify themselves as bottom be like, Trey want to get their ass ate. Trey want to get exactly, because versatile existed. It always existed. It's just we didn't have language for it back then like we do now. But niggas be fucking and getting fucked. Niggas bend and do the bending. That's just the way of the world. But the question that I have is, when you say you like somebody to talk you through it, because again, 12 of 20 bottoms agreed. Talk me through that shit, especially if your dick is huge. When you when you want someone to talk you through it, what are you expecting them to say? Oh, damn. Y'all saying such good shit. I just can't put it up there. B Cryptic said words of affirmation is the best for real, for real. However, if you really want the dick with some poppers, you're gonna take it regardless. Um, okay. Damn. I keep clicking it. Talk them through it, but like make sure you're speaking into their whole. And the funny thing is, I think I've seen the most success when you're speaking into their ears. No shade. But like what I've realized, and this really helped me, is I think that black gay men are a lot kinkier than we say that we are. It's just like Mr. Censor, he was on here a while ago, and he said that when he thinks of the word kinky, just like twink and bear and otter and all these different descriptors that just exist in queer culture, the picture that comes in our head is a white person. But there are a lot of kinks that black gay men are really, really in tune with. It's just we don't give ourselves space to explore it. Give you an example. I will tell you, someone talking you through it is a praise kink. That is the term for these things. It's a praise kink. When you want to be when you want to be worshiped, you want to be called a good boy and told that he's proud of you and all of those things. That's a praise kink, and that can come in many forms. That can come in many forms. And so, oh, Cortez is here. I keep clicking on it because that's my reflex. But Cortez says you start talking, I'm getting annoyed. Holla at your boy says, I got you, relax. I'll give you a story about I got you. So I tell people all the time, I've said it on this show. I've said it there was one guy I interviewed. He was abstinent, and he said that we clutter We clutter our emotional lives with all this sex. And my response to him was, when I fuck somebody, when I fuck you, I can see your whole life painted in the room. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like when Stevie Wonder says he plays music. Stevie Wonder and Pharrell, when they play music, they see colors. Same thing. Like when I fuck somebody, when I put my dick in them, I can see things. I see aspects of your life. I was with this dude. I only call him Entanglement on Substack. And I came over there. I'm bigger than he is. Let's say he's like 160 pounds. Right now, I'm clocking in at 220. So I get there. I wrap my arms around him. We are in the throes of an entanglement. It is intense, but it's an entanglement nonetheless. I whisper in his ear, "I got you," because I feel tension in parts of his body that I don't normally feel it in. I tell him, "I got you. You can let it go. I can handle it." And my voice gets low. I get, because I wanted to put some intention behind it. I knew I wanted him to know I ain't on no bullshit. Like, let me have it so that we both can enjoy ourselves. I'm thinking I'm saying that to his sex, but he receives that in other parts of his body. When I tell you, this man started crying, like full on ugly cry. Of course, I stopped fucking him, and I'm holding him, but he is full on ugly cry because Black men are carrying so much tension, so much weight on their body and their spirit that saying words like "I got you" while you are hitting some fairly decent spots in there, top tier. People ain't accustomed to that kind of treatment. They not accustomed to being handled and taken care of like that. Troy said ears are a hole too. Mr. Whitty says, just tell me what I'm doing so well. I will tell you, I've on this show, I was interviewing one guy. It was me, Aaron, and his name is Benji. And so I was telling him, I'm gonna talk you through it kind of top. So when I say shit like, "Oh, you almost made daddy come," taking dick like such a good boy. I'm so proud of you. You taking it like such a good boy. Those are the things that in my experience, men who are taking it want to hear. They want to hear that I'm doing a good job. But the irony, and again, we talking about bottoms here, but I'll tell you, every Black man wants to hear that. Every Black man wants to hear it if you can actually mean it. Holla at your boy said, "Let me open that hole." Yes, when a guy tells me I'm a good boy, Benjamin Johnson says, "I love a soft top." Are you flirting with me, Benjamin? Rolando DD says, "It's true. I learned that about myself right here during this show. Talking you through it is a thing." Appreciate you for that, Panther. Richard Durham says, "We don't, because most are worried about being judged." Now, I will tell you, I wish I could put that one up on the screen, but a lot of the things that we preclude ourselves from sexually are because we don't want to be judged. I would wager that a lot of tops are softer than they let on. Not because they want to take some dick, but it's because culture says me being myself means that I want to do something I don't want to do. It took a lot of work, a lot of therapy for me to figure out that it's okay to be a top and be a little feminine. I had to unpack some shit because in my head, what has been fed to me is that if I cry, if I'm emotional, if I'm vulnerable, if I'm soft, if I'm this, culture is just going to tell me, "Oh, he just want to be a bottom." No, nigga, I want to be a human. I want to be normal. I got feelings just like anybody else. And our culture wraps so much of what we do in so much of who we are into what we do. And I would bet American dollars and cents that there are more bottoms who would probably be a lot more masculine and a more tops that would be a lot, no, let me not say masculine because I don't want to make it seem like masculine is hard and feminine is soft. But I would wager that there are a lot more stereotypically manly things that a lot of bottoms would do if they could do it and their boundaries be respected. I would wager that there's a lot softer things that a lot of tops would do if they could do it and we could respect their boundaries. I am not going to emasculate you. I am not going to make you feel like less of a person. I am not going to make you feel like you are not who you are just because you are being who you are being. I would wager that everybody in our culture would be a lot better off if we just let go of some of these social norms. But because so many of us are so quick to indict a top, saying that he just want a bottom when he wants to be the small spoon, when he wants to be taken out, when he can appreciate somebody opening the door for him, when he wants somebody to hold his hand, we wants to lay on somebody's shoulder. He just want to be a bottom. And that stinking thinking is what has tops so caught up in a corner, like they can't do shit. And that is where toxicity is born. Forgive me if I went on a rant. I hear the word twink and immediately I think twink tech support. Cause he was a twink, even though he's very hairy. Oh, I never knew that. Good boy always sends me. Ugh. You will be surprised. So I'll tell you this, and this is gonna hopefully this doesn't get me canceled. But I will tell you that the more the more present I am. Uh-oh. Thank you, Carlos. But the more present I am in sex, the more the lower my boundaries get. And I will tell you that in the comfort of a sexual scenario where I feel at ease, I tend to allow certain things in. Now, granted enough, I it's hard for me to be at ease if I'm in an interracial situation ever. Like I ain't gonna be fully at ease if I'm, the only black face in a house full of white folk or a house full of Latinos or a house full of Asian people. Like I ain't gonna be fully at ease when I'm the only one. Oh, my bad. I ain't gonna be the only one like feeling something. But what I will tell you is my boundaries get a lot lower because I can be present. And what I think happens is a lot of us, whether you are top, bottom, verse top, verse bottom, or bottom, whatever the case may be, a lot of us don't know what it's like to truly have our boundaries respected. So we just walk through the world on high alert. We fuck on high alert. We have relationship on high alert. We have such high walls because we don't know what it looks like, what it actually feels like to have our boundaries respected, to have our agency affirmed, to be somebody want somebody to be proud of us, all of those things. And what happens is we end up dating parts of people and people are dating parts of us because we never know what it's like to take the mask off. We never know what it's like to let it all hang out. And I think and what I'm learning is what y'all are teaching me is that in my head, I'm just respecting boundaries based on what you say. You don't have to prove anything to me. You don't have to earn me to you don't have to earn my respect of your boundaries. You just are you. So if you tell me you're a top, I'm creating the boundary in my head and I'm going to let you tell me if I can move it in or out. But if you a top, I'm not going to touch your ass. That's just the vibe. Now if you tell me I'm a top but I get my ass ate, then okay, but I'm not going to try to put nothing in it. Okay, I'm a top but you can think like I'll let you define the boundaries. But maybe that's the problem in our culture is that so many of our boundaries are defined by other people. Hence how we say top means I fuck primarily, but I get fucked on occasion. And in my head, no, it doesn't. There is no verse in a top. A top is a top. And a bottom is a bottom. There is no verse in bottom. Because that would then be a versatile bottom. There is no verse in top because that would then be a versatile top. And those are two different things. And I think that's the reason, that's one of the problems in our culture. Is that so many of our boundaries are dictated by society. So many of our boundaries are dictated by comparison to somebody else. So many of our boundaries are dictated by things that are not our own. And that is a cultural problem. That is not an individual problem. Because how then I would never know what it looks like to create boundaries. I could never know what it looks like to create boundaries lest I go through a whole lot of therapy. Because that's the only way I did it. But that's just me. Okay, I got one more point. The last myth is one both tops and bottoms agree on. It's that emotional connection makes sex better. What tops and bottoms disagree with is whether hookups require emotional connection. 8 out of 10 of the bottoms that I talked to agreed that some kind of connection during sex, even hookups, is preferred. Fun fact, the one that I said was face down, ass up at the Red Roof Inn, he's even said that sex feels better when there's a connection. He just said, and I quote, let me read it verbatim. He says, sometimes I want a deep connection with one guy. Sometimes I want several shallow connections with several guys. Either way, connection is preferred. Do you, for the people who provide the dick, whether you are top or versatile or verse top or verse bottom or whatever you are, if you are the penetrative partner, do you build connections with the people that you are fucking? Like if it's just an entanglement, because I think we can assume if we are in relationship, yes, I'm building connection. But if, for instance, we are not in relationship, this is just an entanglement. I just met you on the apps. Are you taking the time to build a connection with this person? Yes. Rolando says, I'll take that several shallow with several men. Thanks. Holla at your boy says it depends on the situation. Mr. Witty said a lot of young guys want you to tell them what to do and their tops. In my mind, a top is a man that leads, so he shouldn't want me directing by his bottom. But there are passive tops now. Now you've added a whole bunch of things, and I'm going to double tap on yours later in the show. I put a little star next to it because I want to double tap on that one a little later in the show because I got a whole set of opinions about that. Dabble says I prefer building connection. B Cryptic said nowadays gays have changed all the rules entirely. Busted Wide Open adult beverages. That's a good name for an adult beverage. Says hell, that's all out here anyway. A bunch of shallow MFs, young and old. Tennis Lover says yes, I love connection, some sort of one at least. Okay. How do you define in connection? For people that are saying, yes, I prefer a connection, how are you defining that? Is that just I know what sexual position you are? Is that I know how you like to be fucked? Is that we're acting out a whole kink scene and we're negotiating things? If you are a kinkster, are you talking about safe words and boundaries? Like, what does connection look like in a normal everyday situation? For those who say I prefer to have a connection. Troy says a connection is fine if the tops don't flake. Whole lot of flaky tops because we don't have to go through as much work to set it up. Like it's easy for me to fall asleep on it because I've only been wanting some ass for 5 minutes. Y'all have been wanting some dick for hours and hours. It takes hours and hours to prepare. Y'all know the devil wears Prada. Why is no one ready? Benjamin Johnson says a basic conversation at a minimum. Troy says a connection is boundaries. I have to tennis lover oh 08 says I have to talk to you and let's get a vibe from you. I usually ask what the person is into. I have an idea of what I'm getting into. Is that happening? Like, are you saying he gets to your house or you get there and we're having a conversation then? Or is this a conversation in the app? Assuming that we're hooking up on the app or in a text message or whatever. Cortez said, in order to successfully hook up, I had to stop connecting. So I'll tell you this for me, while more responses are coming in. What I tend to appreciate is a connection. But what I've learned about receptive partners, about bottoms and men who take dick, is that there are 1,000 ways to build a connection. I think it's short-sighted for us to assume that the way that receptive partners communicate is only through words. Every body motion, every moan, every muscle tense, every quiver, every groan, every scream, every yes, no, maybe so, how when and how your body relaxes, when and how your body tenses up, all those things are opportunities for the penetrative partner to listen. Fun fact, and I'll talk about tops next week, but fun fact, tops are communicating just the same, but I would offer that tops are less listened to because we are not receiving anything. We are not the receptive partner. But everything a person does, a receptive partner does, they are communicating something. People are telling you in unambiguous terms what they like, what they don't like, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And I guarantee you that if we would just take more time listening as sex is happening, in addition to all the other things, if we would take time to listen as the sex is happening, the other person will tell you everything you need to know as long as you're asking the necessary questions first. For instance, there was a time where I would ask about HIV status. That was a huge component of my sex life. I would not feel at ease until I asked you about your HIV status and we had a conversation about how we are going to protect ourselves and each other in an entanglement, right? So that is something that I got to verbalize. You can't feel your way through that. If you have a hard bound, like I've had sex with people who have had anal cancer, and so they are very sensitive around their anus and their body and how it is seen. I have had sex with people who are sensitive about many things. So yeah, there are lots of things we can disclose in a conversation, either immediately before, or as we're setting up an entanglement. But in addition to that, I would say that if we would learn to listen with our whole body, not just our ears, but with our whole body, we would have a better connection with someone. Fun fact, as we talked about, like talking somebody through it and all those things. I didn't learn how to talk somebody through something just by, what do you want me to say? I learned by listening and figuring shit out. And I will tell you, every time I have had a bottom in my life, every time I have had a regular, what they appreciate the most is listening and figuring it the fuck out. Because they are communicating from the second that I say, you free, you up, what you doing, to the second that we bust that last nut and we are spent. There is a conversation that is happening and not enough of us tap into it. They having a whole conversation in the chat. Okay. So the last question that I had was, what does building a connection look like? I just did a whole rant. My bad. Fun fact, I don't know what y'all talking about in the chat, but ASL, I will tell you. I hope he doesn't know who I'm talking about, but I will tell you that there's this dude there are many more people who are hard of hearing or deaf in Atlanta, in the country. But this particular person, I met him uh, in my mother's hometown, maybe 15 years ago now. He is from the same city, and it was like Christmas time, or maybe it was the summertime. No, it was Christmas. But South Georgia is always hot. I just remember he was wearing shorts. He had long locks. He was fine as hell. And my dumb ass was like, hey, we met on BGC. My dumb ass was like, hey, you want to meet up for a movie? Now, he can read lips and he can hear because he's got hearing aids, but he's deaf. And my stupid ass said, let's meet up for a movie. We did not entangle then, but years later, we both ended up living here in Atlanta, and we entangled then. And when you are having sex, reading lips is just not a preferred method of contact. It's a resource, but if you're doggy style and we're not facing each other, then you can't read lips. If you are, if I'm whispering into your ear because we are in close connection, you can't read lips. He might not be able to hear me at all. And I'm not about to text him or write something down because I don't sign and he does. So, there was just a language barrier. However, the gotcha is, and this is where I learned it. That's how I learned to listen to your body. Because he couldn't verbalize what he wanted me to do. I couldn't verbalize what I wanted him to do. And what I learned from him in that exchange is how to listen to somebody's body. I have never been catered to the degree he did. I have never been catered to the degree he did. And it wasn't the words. It was the vibe, the time we had. I don't, he has since told me, because we still communicate. I know who he is, but he has since told me that was some great sex. I don't know if it was the best, but it was good. It was great for me. And that is how I learned to listen. That is how I learned to be in tune with body and all the things because of him. It was just because of him. Panther says, exactly, Jay. The guy said he learns through touch and kissing. Unlimited said, true connection is built through trust, communication, and openness. For many, those deeper elements matter far more than a label once the bond strengthens. I don't know what prompted that, but that was, Unlimited, you be dropping nuggets. You got a podcast, friend? Okay, teammates. I think that's a perfect place to take a break. We'll be right back. What up, y'all? I need your help. There's this new feature on YouTube that can help us grow as a channel. It's called Hype. It's free. I've seen it work on small channels just like ours, but it only works if we all do it. Antonio Speaks is a channel that I follow. He started at 20K subscribers when I hit the subscribe button, and I've seen him get 1,000 new subs in a day. Hundreds of thousands of new viewers. On YouTube, right next to the like and share, there's this new button called Hype. The more a video gets hyped, the higher it will rank on YouTube. The higher we rank, the more people get to see our content, the faster Dear Black Gay Men continues to grow. Like this video right now. When you see Dear Black Gay Men content on YouTube, even if you've watched it already or attended the live, like the video, drop a comment, and click the hype button. I appreciate y'all more than I can express. Let's get to 20. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman, and I host all the craziness that happens right here in the back room. As far as I know, we are the only queer-led podcast that has its own studio in Atlanta. And we party in the back room. We have a Kiki in the back room.
Get that gooch licked on or something. Like, figure it out. Like,
we have a cocktail in the back room.
Oh, that's really good.
That's what she said. And we grow in the back room. Every time y'all are here, every time you're here, you say something that I'm just like, that really happens? If you're in the Atlanta area, you want to join us in the back room, visit dearblackgaymen.com/tickets. to see what live shows and events we have coming up right here in the background. We ain't never had a conversation this good.
Start fighting and it's over nothing. Like, why?
Nothing was off limits.
What do you look for?
Top thing, first thing.
First thing.
You scrolling on the apps and you like, how has HIV impacted your dating life? Then it got a little petty.
Worked the same way that the negative hole worked. And I said,
Celebrating National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. It's the HIV Talk on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. What up, though? Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. Remember, if you've got an opinion on the topic, no, it's time to comment on comments. Hit it. The comments keep the vibe going through the roof right here on Dear Black Gay Men podcast. If you want to add your piece to the conversation, just go to livestream.dearblackgaymen.com to join us live in the show. I don't know if I pinned it. Hold on. Let me pin it right now. Okay. Yes. Okay, girl. Pinned in the comments at livestream.dearblackgaymen.com. You can join me live on the show. Now, what I will say is, y'all make my little heart sing. I want to give y'all a couple of updates about the parties coming up. There have been questions in the chat about, is the party happening for Pride weekend? Atlanta has two prides, just like most major cities. Black Pride is Labor Day weekend, and the mainstream Pride weekend is the second week in October. Pride kicks off Thursday, October 9th, and our party is on Thursday, October 9th. We are kicking off Pride with a party location I have not announced yet, but it's going to be so amazing. There will be live entertainment. I'll be giving away some stuff. It'll be vibes. The DJ will be DJing. The drinks will be drinking. I'll make sure that we have the bar for all of our events are open, and our events go to support Black queer business. And so everything about the private party is Black queer. The people that own these businesses are Black queer people. The people that work at these businesses are Black queer people. The artists that we highlight are Black queer people. We will be doing everything Black and queer. I want to highlight a couple things. Mr. Witty, Carlos, thank you so much for your gifts today. Mr. Witty said, oh, look, the thing is back the right size. A lot of young guys want you to tell them what to do, and they're tops. In my mind, a top is a man, and a man leads, so he shouldn't be directed by his bottom. But there are passive tops now. I wanted to double tap on this comment because so many pieces of it that low key rubbed me the wrong way. I do agree. A lot of young guys want you to inform them of things. And what I've come to realize, especially with that 25 and under crowd, 18 to 25, because, I'm not doing anything with anybody underage, but the 18 to 25 crowd, let me not even say that, because I couldn't tell you the last time I dealt with somebody 18. That makes me nervous. But what I know is our sexual debut, or at least mine, came from sex. I learned everything I know about gay culture from porn. And so my definition of a lot of things for a long time came from porn. Like, I remember Tiger Tyson and Castro. And I remember Aprende. I hope somebody in the chat knows the porn called Aprende. Because when I tell you Aprende was life changing. Like, if y'all have ever seen Aprende, you know that this man had something on his penis. What was it? Let me know in the chat. But a lot of what I knew about being gay came from porn. And porn was full of little bitty skinny twinkie fishy boys getting did in by these masculine huge dick men, right? And that was the dynamic I learned. And for me, I called that versatile for the longest because I was a little bitty skinny twinkie boy that was fishy, but I didn't like getting fucked. So I mixed a little bit of masculine with a little bit of top with a little bit of fish, and I got versatile. But what I have learned is I had to decouple a whole bunch of things, Mr. Witty. What did he have on his dick? Be specific. What did he have on his dick? I see the comments are going up. What did the man have on his dick? If you ever saw a prende, you know this. You know what that man had on his penis. What did the man have on his dick? Put it in the chat. Y'all know this. You know it. If you are 35 plus, you should know this answer. What did the man have on his dick, friends? Tell me. Tell me. I know you know. I'll tell y'all in a second. But yes, my definition of everything was masculine boys are tops, feminine boys are bottoms. Big boys are tops, skinny boys are bottoms, unless he got a really big dick and then he's a top two. And what I had to learn is to decouple a whole lot of things. And yes, there are many passive tops. There are many submissive tops now that do want you to instruct them through things. But that doesn't make them less of a top. I just think we have to change our definition of what top is. And allow that to just be a sexual position. Because top does not denote mannerism. Top did not denote dominance or submission. Top is just what I do with my dick, ain't it? Mr. Witty followed all that up with, I wish I had money to produce some sexy ass intimate porn. Them Coco Dorm porn days were a turnoff for me. Well, Coco Dorm, they were living in that house. That all they did was fuck. That's all they were there for, is drugs and sex. Just for clarity, the man in Apprende had a scorpion tattooed on his penis. That is what he did. And him and that little skinny Blatino boy, because Apprende was all Blatino men. That little skinny Blatino boy, they fucked on this Isuzu rodeo. And for those who are too young to know, an Isuzu rodeo is a foreign SUV. Back before Honda had SUVs, back before there was back before a whole bunch of people. There was like SUVs back in the day were like Chevys, Suzukis, and Isuzus. That's before Honda had a Passport, before Toyota had a Tacoma. There were only Isuzus, Suzukis, Chevy, and a GMC. That's all you had, and like a Ford. And they were on a white Isuzu rodeo, and they had sex on top of the Isuzu rodeo. They had sex in the way back of the Isuzu rodeo. They were sucking dick and fucking in the back seat of this Isuzu rodeo. They would whip their dick out in the front seat of this Isuzu rodeo. This Isuzu rodeo got more action than the Coco Dorm room, with the black door and the TV that was in the corner on the thing that Dream used to fuck the boys on that full-size bed. But yes, for those who don't remember, Apprende, his name was Scorpion, and he had a scorpion tattooed on the shaft of his penis. I remember Bait Bus. I never got into Bait Bus because there was, at that time in my life, I was turned off by anything that had a woman in it. Anything that had a woman in it, I was like, I'm good. And Bait Bus the premise was A woman would be in the bus to get these unsuspecting men, but they were porn stars and actors, to get into the bus. They would get hard. She would suck a little dick. And then she'd be like, oh, let me blindfold you. And then they'd end up getting a dick sucked getting a dick sucked by this dude who did it better. And then he'd be like, oh, I want to take off the mask so I can see you. I want to see you, baby. And then he would take off the mask. It's a man on his dick. And he'd be like, and then they would go through some negotiation where he'd be like, if I give you more money or if I whatever, will you fuck him? And he would always say yes. And for a little while, we was like, yeah, I believe the fantasy, but we knew you was a porn star in the first place. You're probably gay, and you had to get yourself up to let this woman suck your dick, and then the dude did it, and you felt right. Like, Bait Bus, the plot was just so, like, looking back on it, the plot was so trash, but I could not. I would catch it on the Twitter. Tumblr back then in them days when Tumblr was a thing. I would catch it on the Tumblr. It absolutely wasn't real. Porn isn't real. It's an illusion and can distort your thinking about reality. I agree with that. Bait Bus had the dick. I agree with that. Bait Bus, and now it's Beef Hunter. I think that's his name on Twitter. That's who got the meat now. And apparently he be getting the straight dudes, but I think they be gay anyway. So there's that. But I want to close out the show. That was my findings. That was my findings for this particular episode. I will tell you, point number 1, husband dick is the perfect size. Point number 2 that I found out was multiple quickies are preferred over long sessions. Number 3 is if it's big, talk them through it. And then number 4 is sex is better when they like you. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. This has been an amazing conversation. We'll be right back here with another episode of Dear Black Gay Men, Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. For more exclusive content, join me on Substack at dearblackgaymen.substack.com. The link is in the description. I appreciate you all more than I can ever express. That was our show. I'll see you next time. Bye.